The Big Show on Hauraki. Cheers, Tui, for bringing back the laughs in a world gone mad. Yeah, right.
Don't fight it. It's time to go up a size. This is the biggest.
This is the biggest.
Our biggest show.
The Hauraki Big Show. With Jason Hoyte, Mike Minogue, and Keyzie.
Oh, g'day, you mad bastards. You're sick. Oh, my God. You're a sick son of a bee, aren't you? You're listening to the Hauraki Big Show. It's the 20th of December 2024. I am producer Pugs, Sam, whatever you bloody like. I'm filling in for the fellas. Hoyte J, Mogi, and Keyzie. They have all effed off onto their responsible, irresponsible holidays until January 13th, 2025. So today's just got to be a nice cruise into the break. The office is an absolute dystopia around at Hauraki. There is literally nobody else in the building. I'm looking out the window to nothing. So you can keep me company on 3483. Frat out Friday if you like. Hell, make it a Maggot Friday, Maggot Monday on a Friday. Why not? It's the last day. Do whatever you want. I'll spin you some moments from the fellas over the year that I think are maybe underrated and some that I think are rated appropriately. But also, I got some advice from the fellas yesterday about how I should run the show today, and I'm really going to embrace it in about 6 minutes. Plus, we've got tunes on the way from Arctic Monkeys and the Pixies. But first of all, here's some Lenny Kravitz. You're listening to Radio Hauraki. Woo!
The Hauraki Big Show with Jason Hoyte, Mike Minogue, and Keyzie.
That is Queens of the Stone Age on Radio Hauraki. You're here with Pugs filling in for Jace, Mike, and Keyzie. Back Jan 13th next year. One of their biggest moments from the year has to be interviewing Queens of the Stone Age on a rooftop bar in Auckland City. Absolutely epic. And then going to the gig that night, one of the best gigs I've seen all year for sure. Now, yesterday on The Big Show, Jason and Keyzie were kind of trying to give me some insight into what sort of content I should run with running the show solo today.
And if in doubt, Pugs, there's one thing I've learned over my many, many years of quality broadcasting. If in doubt, go filth.
Yeah, it's actually a really good point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So just lean into the filthy side of things.
lean into the filth, the stuff you say off here, just bring it on here, man. Like,
Oh, right. Not all of that.
Can I recommend you take your boudoir into the studio?
picture, Pugs, that's a really good idea, Jace. Picture you're in your bed. You know, your love heart-shaped bed that you've got. Your love chart.
My favourite B-52s tune, by the way. Love chart. So we're straight into the filth today. And let's just say something happened to me in the bedroom last night. Wasn't very sexy at all. I chipped a tooth. Somebody kneed the back of my glass drink bottle straight into my incisors, and now there's a chip out of the left one. That's never happened to me before in 28 years of living. Have you ever been injured in the bedroom? Let me know. The text number is 3483. I've got access to all the leftover TUI prize bags, so get amongst it. And in the meantime, the first best bit from 2024 coming up in about 10 minutes. Here's The Pick Thief.
The Hauraki Big Show with Jace, Mike and Keyzie. Tune in weekdays at 4 on Radio Hauraki.
It's Caesars on Hauraki with one of the more precarious song titles, Jerk It Out. You're here with Pugs, filling in for the fellas until they get back, Jan 13th, 2025, and so I'm here on their last day, and for some reason their last day was Thursday. Very high impact. Now, into our first moment from 2024. This is one that I find to be more underrated compared to some of the bigger moments. It's a simple, sweet and wholesome April Fool's joke.
Of course, Easter Monday yesterday, Mogi. 'Twas also April Fool's Day. April the 1st. Geez, and I was sort of thinking back on you and I over the years, mate. We were the ultimate April Fool's pranksters back in the day.
Yeah, that's
you know
right.
what I mean?
Yeah,
old Hoyte J, the practical joker.
Well, they always start out pretty light, don't they? And you oftentimes you'll find that they sort of ramp up over the years.
Yes. Well, when you try to outdo each other all the time,
there's
that's
truth
the thing.
in that. There's truth in that. There's the short sheeting. You remember the short sheeting if you're at someone's place and you just sort of, short sheet them, about that one.
I don't know what that means.
When you tuck it in, you tuck them in higher, so when you get into the bed, you can't get your legs all the way down to the bed, bottom of the bed, and so you have to completely remake the bed.
That's classic.
Which is a real ball ache. But I remember when I was a kid, I sort of got my passion for April Fool's jokes because the next door neighbour, there's two down, he was at number 8 Carlisle Street there, old Ken Dalgetty, and he'd had his eye on my mum for quite a while.
Oh, wow.
had he? Yeah. He said he had a wonky eye too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
He was a weird-looking bastard.
Who, Dalgety?
But anyway, he was keen as. And so I sort of used that to my advantage, and I sort of needled him a little bit, you know what I mean? Because he had to pretend he liked me, because he was trying to,
Get it on with Marge.
Yeah, that's right. But one day I popped down there, and we used to have a greyhound track out the back of ours. And so I'd go over there and I'd shovel up a whole bunch of the old greyhound poos. I don't know if you've been involved with those before, Keyzie. Reeking.
Poos?
Absolutely reeking.
Oh, really?
Greyhound ones.
They're a disgusting dog.
I don't know what they feed them.
Right,
But it's no bueno.
Because of the poos, yeah.
Anyway, so I stick that in a paper bag there and I set it on fire on old Ken Dalgetty's porch there, you know.
Oh, it's a classic. Yeah,
And,
it's great.
You pour the petrol on there, set it on fire, and then knock it on the old door there. Well, old Ken Dalgetty, he was at work. Burn his house down.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you didn't...
Ashes, absolute ashes, got him good.
Yeah.
You didn't call the fire brigade or anything?
Huh?
You
Well,
didn't-
that ruins the joke.
Oh, yeah.
Totally. And just, standing outside watching it burn, there's a bit of a giggle in that as well.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's April Fool's Day. Did I tell you it was April Fool's Day?
Oh, yeah,
It's on April Fool's Day. So
of course.
it's all good.
It's all
is
harmless.
it?
It's a harmless bit of fun, Keyzie.
Right, and so whatever happened... it doesn't seem harmless just because, the entire house burned down. Whatever happened to old Ken, by the
No,
way?
it's all good.
What do you mean it's all good?
Because it's April Fool's Day, so the laws don't apply.
Exactly.
It's like Luda's
I
rights.
was just about to say like Luda's rights.
Right, okay.
Yeah. I tell you what, I did that with my old mate Busy.
Busy.
We called him Busy because he had heaps of freckles on his face.
Oh.
And we used to call that fly poos.
Oh.
And so Busy he got the name Busy. Hey,
Oh,
Busy!
yeah.
And he was a weird bastard too.
Yeah. He had a bung eye too, didn't
Yeah,
he?
he did actually have a bung eye. Well,
That's
this is
weird.
this is the crazy thing. This is the crazy thing about. He was one of those guys that when he's looking at you, he's looking directly at you, but he's not.
No, I know. He's
You know
always
what I
waiting
mean?
for a better option to walk into the room.
Well, yeah, he's sort of looking quarter to three kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. What happened with old Busy?
Back in the day, we used to go and have durries in the boot room at school there, Mogi. Yeah, in the boot room, which is where you dried your boots off.
Yeah.
And old Busy bloody lagged me off to the screws.
Oh, so he knocked on you
He
the
knocked
teachers?
he knocked on me to the
Yeah.
screws. So I went, I'm going to get this bastard back. But he was a good bastard too.
Yeah,
It was a bit of a joke. So I got one of those like massive metal industrial kind of, what do you call them? Buckets. Yeah, that you put they're heavy bastards.
They can be.
And I loaded that up full to the brim with water and then stuck at the classic thing.
The door.
On the door.
Yeah.
Right on top of the door there, and we called him in. Hey, Busy, and he comes. This massive metal bucket with full of water. Must have been 4 gallons in there at least. Douche on his head.
Oh, wow.
Just knocked him completely senseless. Never came right, old Busy, to be. But the good thing was his eyes came back into focus. He lives in Huntley with his mum now.
The Hauraki Big Show. Weekdays from 4 on Radio Hauraki.
It's Muse on the Hauraki Big Show. You got producer Pugs filling in for the fellas until they get back on air Jan 13th next year. And they're cracking straight back in as well. Their first live show for the year is at the Richmond Club the week they get back, Friday the 17th of January 2025. It's a warm-up to the Hot Springs Spa's T20 Black Clash in association with Wolfbrook. They'll be at the Black Clash as well. You got plenty of time to make your bookings. Get your little trikey and get on over to Christchurch. Jan 17th next year. Here's Tame Impala.
The Hauraki Big Show with Jason Hoyte, Mike Minogue, and Keyzie.
It's Run DMC and Aerosmith on the Hauraki Big Show. It's Pugs here, filling in for the fellas. They'll be back Jan 13th, 2025. In the meantime, I'm spinning you some of their underrated moments from the year and some of their biggest moments from the year. And this is one of the biggest ones. It's no secret the Magic Round in Brisbane was an insane trip. We missed our flights home and had to stay another night. Keyzie and I literally crashed in the hotel room of the winners that we chose to go along on the trip with us. And this is the fellas breakdown the day after we got back.
We were obviously there at the magnificent Suncorp Stadium. Bloody top quality stadium it is too. After that victory with the Warriors, old Hoodie J caught his flight home. Fellas, talk me through the rest of your afternoon/night.
Well, I guess we should talk about what happened on the day, right? It was a bit of an old one because it was a boys' trip. We'd had had the competition, got a couple of absolute backbones over there with us.
They were backbones.
Cooper and Connor.
Absolute champion individuals. Couldn't have asked for two better fellas. Couldn't wipe the smiles off their faces all weekend. So we get there, but really weirdly, our flight back was scheduled for, I think it was at 7 o'clock or something like that.
7:30, yeah.
On the Sunday. So it meant that we had to go straight after the Warriors. We had to leave immediately, even though there's still 2 more games to go on the day, and go straight to the airport and get out. Which seemed like a weird thing.
It would have been even more of a weird decision if the Warriors, the incredibly depleted Warriors, weren't playing the Panthers.
Yeah.
So because of that fact, I didn't at all factor in, what if we win?
Yeah.
You know, I didn't factor that in at all.
Nah. That's right. And so we get to the game there. We've had been down to the Caxton Hotel before that. It's absolutely rammed with Warriors supporters. It's going off. And we get to the game and things start looking good. And then it dawns on us, what actually happens if we do win here? Are we going to go home? Is that what we're doing? This will be one of, if they're not the greatest wins of regular season history for the Warriors. And are we just going to go, oh, cool, and then jump on a plane? It was a brief discussion. And we decided that no, we wouldn't do that.
Well, the good thing about the discussion is Mogi, because I was obviously thinking about that, and I was like, oh no, we won't be allowed to do that. And Mogi was like, Keyzie, I'll phone the boss, mate. I'll see what I can do. And then 5 minutes later, he staggers back. He's like, it's all good, brother. Let's do this.
To be fair, that's a pretty accurate impression of what it was like. And then that was us, man. We're absolutely into it. The feeling in that stadium was incredible. So we went out. We hooked up with a whole bunch of backbones. A lot of Big Show fans over there. We went dancing, didn't we, Keyzie? You took me out dancing, brother. We didn't have any dinner. I don't remember that. No,
I had a massive glizzy dog or hot dog in the car park of the Claxton.
That's right. I had a kebab just before going home. So, yeah, I mean, it was exactly what the Warriors deserved. They deserved us to celebrate. They deserved us to miss our flight. They deserved us to get into shit with the bosses here for costing $4,000 in the change of flights, which I don't think was built in.
No, it certainly wasn't.
Into the cost,
and
yeah.
the good thing was,
because
we left it so late, the only thing left to fly back was premium economy. So we had the feta and sun-dried tomato starter.
Amazing.
It was delicious.
Yeah. You got premium...
It was unbelievable. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It was good. And I've got to say, by the way, anyone that is, vaguely into rugby league or even sporting occasions in general, you have to go to Magic Round next year. They've signed it up, so it's going to be in Brizzy for the next 3 years. You don't even have to go to all 3 days. Pick a day, if funds are a bit tighter, pick the day the Wires are playing. You'll go and watch 3 games of footy probably. And then the other 2 days, just go to Caxton Street and get amongst all of the fans.
The only way that I can put it is it's like the Sevens in Wellington used to be.
Yeah.
And it's like, look, I'll be honest with you, it's 95% men. The streets are barricaded off. Everybody's just on the streets. Everybody is drinking and on the punt. They're on the booze all day long. They start really early. And yet the whole time we were there, we did not see any sort of aggro, no sign of a fight. Everybody is in great mood. Take your whānau, take your mates, do whatever you can, but I would say lock that in. For God's sake, lock that into your calendars because it is an all-timer sporting event.
Yeah.
It was an all-timer weekend. Part 2 of that yarn is even better. I'll spin that for you after 5. In the meantime, you can actually find every show the fellas have ever done just by searching Hauraki Big Show wherever you get your podcasts from. I recommend iHeartRadio. Plus, if you subscribe there or follow or however it works on podcast apps, I'll have some bonus best of podcasts coming out over the break to keep you fed until the fellas get back Jan 13th, 2025.
The Hauraki Big Show. Weekdays from 4 on Radio Hauraki.
It's the Hauraki Big Show with producer Pugs filling in for the fellas. They'll be back on air Jan 13th, 2025. In the meantime, huge tunes after 5 o'clock. Massive summer vibe from Salmonella Dub for your drive home. We got the Red Hot Chili Peppers and kicking off the hour. Massive, raging throbber from Metallica, Enter Sandman. Plus, I'll spin you a couple more of my favourite underrated or best moments of 2024 on The Big Show, including Keyzie sharing some real personal information about me with the fellas. He kind of betrayed me there from some time we spent alone together. And also, speaking of Keyzie, thinking of somebody else while in the bed with his wife. That and much, much more after 5. You're listening to The Hauraki Big Show.
The Hauraki Big Show with Jace, Mike and Keyzie. Tune in weekdays at 4 on Radio Hauraki.
Welcome back, you absolute sickos. You're listening to The Hauraki Big Show. It's producer Pugs here, filling in for the fellas Jace, Mike and Keyzie, who are off on holiday. They'll be back on air Jan 13th, 2025, and due to reasons that aren't quite clear, their last day was a Thursday, which was yesterday, so you got me. Spitting you some of my favourite moments from the year. Obviously, there's going to be more of those in our holiday podcast, which will be out every Monday, Wednesday and Friday until the fellas get back. And also just a fun tidbit about yesterday's full show that I thought that I should share with you. I learned this from Isaac on the Hauraki team. Yesterday on the Hauraki Big Show, well, right before it, Keyzie did a shotgun of a mystery liquid. The can was unlabelled and he thought that was appropriate to do right before the Hauraki Big Show. So if you go back and listen to yesterday's full show podcast, just search Hauraki Big Show wherever you get yours. It's important to me that you hear it. You'll be able to hear that mystery shotgun in Keyzie's voice. Nice to have steamed Keyzie back on deck. More best bits on the way, including, speaking of Keyzie, thinking about somebody else in bed. And in the meantime, here's some Metallica, Enter Sandman.
The Hauraki Big Show with Jason Hoyte, Mike Minogue, and Keyzie.
Ugh, that's the red hot chili peppers on the Hauraki Big Show. It's Pugs here, filling in for the fellas, Jace, Mike and Keyzie, back on air Jan 13th next year. But some other big news from our family here at Radio Hauraki. It's finally been announced who will be joining Jeremy Wells and Mash on the Hauraki Breakfast.
So it's quite handy that you're actually here, G-Lane, for this, because person who is going to be joining us is currently an employee of yours. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us on the Hauraki Breakfast in 2025, former South Island meat worker, Minogue Stewart. Do you want to tell G-Lane, your now former boss, what you're going to be doing next year, Minogue?
Yeah, this is all good. Lane, consider this my notice.
This is your notice.
Like, traditionally, a-hole, most people do it face-to-face and then follow it up with an email in writing. Yeah. Instead, you're hiding down there in South Canterbury like a piece of crap and you're going to do it live on air.
G-Lane, what's the notice period that's required by Minogue?
His contract says 4 weeks.
Right.
But I believe he's basically clocked off. I went over to his desk. It's been cleaned out already. I went over and I was like, shit, his desk is tidy. It's like, normally it's a pigsty.
Well, I didn't clean it, so someone must have come through and cleaned it out.
Massive congrats to Minogue Stewart on joining the Hauraki Breakfast. He's going to be fantastic, I don't doubt it. Excited for those fellas to be a family as well. And you'll be able to hear them from January 20th, 2025. So that's a week after the Big Show fellas get back, by the way. And search up the Hauraki Breakfast podcast while you're at it too. And also the Big Show, but also the Hauraki Breakfast podcast, but also the Hauraki Big Show podcast. Here's Salmonella Dub.
The Hauraki Big Show with Jason Hoyte, Mike Minogue, and Keyzie.
It's Motley Crue on the Hauraki Big Show. It's producer Pugs filling in for the fellas. Jace, Mike and Keyzie back on Jan 13th next year. A couple of throw-outs on 3 for 83. Yes, I know we did throw-out Thursday yesterday, but today I thought, stuff it, I got the text machine. Nobody's here to stop me. I'll do a throw-out Shy Day as well. So throw-out Shy Day from Big D Dawson to all the backbones working through doing the Lord's work. Hard out. And we got one for Charlie Rudd, throw-out, who's putting in the hard work getting everyone's boat trailers roadworthy before the festive break. Plus, it's his birthday. Happy birthday, Charlie. Both of those texts and every text on 3 for 83 in the draw for a Tui prize pack. Next best bit from the Hauraki Big Show. This is possibly one of my favourites, one of the all-timers of 2024. This is when Keyzie thought of another member of the Big Show while in bed with his wife.
Well, look, I don't want to draw a massive amount of attention to it. It's just something interesting happened to me last night, and I wanted to know if a similar thing had ever happened to you guys.
Okay. Good setup.
So basically, what happened was my wife and I...
Yeah.
My wife.
We were just sort of there.
Oh, nice. Oh.
You like that?
It was... I haven't even said anything.
Yes. You were what?
Dribbling as well.
All over the
I
just dribbled everywhere, yeah. Just thinking about it. So no, we were just starting to maybe get things moving.
Yeah, sure.
You know?
Yeah. How do you do that, by the way?
Well, I put my orthopedic slippers on.
Oh, yeah, good.
Down on all fours.
You get on all fours in your pink jacket.
That's right, and I mince into the room. And then I sort of get down on all fours and look over my shoulder. This isn't even the part. No. So let's just say...
Sure, okay.
We're at the, at the very beginning where things were starting to heat up.
Sure.
In the Keyzie household.
Yeah.
And then... Okay. And then, like...
And Jason's got a vivid imagination.
Oh, man. Yeah, you do too. Okay, Jace.
Yeah, no, carry on.
Are you pitching a tent over there, man? What the hell? Okay, so things just starting to heat up. But not real hot.
Okay.
Sure.
Just lukewarm to begin with.
Sure, yeah.
And as we just sort of, as we're just starting to get into things, a thought popped into my head. And I was just like, fuck, it was funny today, old Mogi. And my wife was just like, if you mention old Mogi or Hoyte J right now, then we're done here. And then I couldn't stop laughing.
Oh, God.
Also, like old Mogi as well. And the worst part was, it was literally me trying to tell her the yarn about. It was me just trying Anyway, some frat outs here on 3 Friday.
Oh my God. Jesus.
But then I couldn't stop laughing because I now had it in my brain that this was going to be content on tomorrow's show.
Oh shit.
And then later on that night, later on in the day, she was like, so what were you, what did you want to tell me
What
about?
was that yarn about old Mogi? She's dying to know.
And then I was like, oh, when his wife goes away, he does a big clear out. It throws away all the stuff. That was the shittest yarn. It's just, oh, cool, man. Thanks for bringing that up.
But the thing is, Keyzie, like when you brought it up, your radio through and through. It was such a great tease that she wanted to stick around through the shit sex to find out what the story was.
That's right. And now she's got a Tui prize pack.
The Hauraki Big Show with Jason Hoyte, Mike Minogue, and Keyzie.
It's the Offspring on the Hauraki Big Show. It's Pugs here filling in for the fellas back on air Jan 13th. Until then, they are spreading their wings and getting responsibly irresponsible on their holidays. Now, because I'm the only one at the Hauraki offices, it's literally dead. I bumped into Isaac from Team Hauraki just before. I have been raiding the fridge of the Angus steak and jalapeno pie that we put out with Dad's Pies. The issue is I can't win $5,000 by eating as many as I can. You can win it just by picking up a pie from your local BP Wild Bean Cafe, supermarket or dairy, grabbing a photo with it and uploading it to hauraki.co.nz, or if you're on Instagram, chuck it up on your Insta and tag Radio Hauraki NZ, or even tag Hauraki Big Show while you're at it, and you go in the draw for that $5,000. Next best bid in 8 minutes. Here's Talking Heads on Hauraki.
The Hauraki Big Show with Jason Hoyte, Mike Minogue, and Keyzie.
It's Kaiser Chiefs on the Hauraki Big Show. It's Pugs here, spinning you some of the fellas' biggest or most underrated moments from 2024. And this is from April this year, when Keyzie and I spent some alone time together. Jace often describes us as peas in a pod, or his wife has even said a 2-for-1 deal. And this was us hanging out, and he decided to come straight on here and share some pretty personal information about me.
Hey, fellas, this is something I've been wanting to bring up for the last few days, but we've been pretty busy. Sunday, I went to Pugs' house.
Oh, yeah.
Helped them with a few jobs, went and had a bit of a burger together and stuff. It was really nice. It was cool to see sort of the den, the bachelor den he's set up there. He's got a real nice setup going. One thing did worry me, though, and I'm just wondering if I could bring it up with you guys.
The box of Joey's?
No, it wasn't the giant box of rubber Joey's.
Right.
It was huge, though, because you'd warned me about that. It was... So we were working on this mountain bike he's got, right? We both got quite greasy and blah, 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 blah.
What were you wearing?
Okay.
Just regular stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
Was it tight in that?
No, quite loose fitting, actually. But Pugsan felt like he was so dirty and greasy that he had to go take a shower.
Oh, yeah.
Now we're talking.
And that was fine. So he's like, hey, man, I'll jump in the shower.
Was it F-I-N-E fine?
Yeah, it was F-I-N-E fine. Yeah, it was. So anyway, he goes and has a shower, right? And I'm just chilling on his couch. And he's like...
Did he tell you to get comfortable? He was just going to go and have a shower?
He
and
did
he'd
say...
And he'd be back in a minute?
He said, go get comfortable. I'll be back soon. I'm just going to have a shower and then we can head out. And I was like... Sweet as, man. So I'm sitting on his couch just watching TV. 10 minutes later... Yeah, I was comfortable.
Yeah.
And did you?
10 minutes later, he comes out because he's like, oh, bought a new bottle of shampoo, but I left it on the kitchen bench. And I was like, oh, yeah, it's right there. So he comes out with the towel on, grabs it. As he's walking back in...
Was he wet and stuff?
Yes, he was wet and stuff. As he's heading back into the bathroom, I notice on his back is a full-size, hand-done tattoo of a tiger, covering his entire back.
Wow.
The other thing, I don't know if you've noticed this, he's missing a pinky. Have you noticed that? On his hand?
No, I can't say that I ever have, Keyzie.
He does.
No.
One of his fingers is missing, and I asked him about it, and he wouldn't say why.
No.
Anyway, just before we leave, pretty shifty character comes to the door, knocks on the door, says something to Pugs saying I couldn't catch it. And I was like, oh, who's that? He's like, don't worry about it, man. Anyway, should we go? And then we headed out.
Right.
Over the last few days, I've been putting 2 and 2 and 2 together. I think Pug's son is part of the Yakuza.
What was the last thing that happened?
What?
The last thing that happened?
Oh, a random guy came up to the door and was talking to Pug's son in like sort of hushed tones.
Oh. That could have been just his dealer.
It could have been, but then I asked. I was like, oh, what was that about? You know, was that your dealer type situation? He was like, don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. You have got a... You're nosy, though.
You can talk.
But you're worried about... You think so?
Yeah, so you're saying he's part of the Yakuza?
I think he might be part of the Japanese Yakuza crime mafia is what I'm thinking.
Right,
just the
okay.
tattoo and stuff. I looked it up. Apparently the tiger means courage or strength. And it was his entire back.
It's interesting because I was giving him a bit of jip the other day, Keyzie.
Bad idea.
And he was already in a hoo of a mood, but I just sort of, give him a bit of a poke. And he said, you might need to think about what you're saying to me, Hoodie J.
Really?
You might want to think about retracting that. And I went, whatever, dude.
Did you say
hoo
that?
of a mood. And he just bowed. And I was like, what's that about?
Did he bow?
He bowed at me.
That's
just looked at me in a really weird sort of way.
Really? So I think so. What do you think?
I haven't noticed the pinky, to be honest.
No, he's missing a pinky. Apparently, I looked it up. Apparently, that's what you do if you've somehow messed something up and you're in the Yakuza. You take a pinky off as like a sign of I stuffed up. So I don't know what he did, but it explains why he's here in New Zealand as well.
Had he used any of the jellies?
Born in Palmerston North?
Yeah, he was. It was pretty much empty, that box. Which is a huge box as well, so it was pretty crazy. Just something that I was worried about, fellas. So you just might want to...
Well, that explains why it's good for us because it's a bit of extra protection.
Well, exactly.
And just like he likes the extra protection of all those rubber joeys.
I don't know at what point in 2024 we came up with the casual Jaysism or the racism alarm, but it feels like it was remiss throughout that whole entire voice break. The Big Show fellas back on Jan 13th, 2025. Listen to the Hauraki Big Show podcast if you want to hear them in the meantime. Here's Pearl Jam on Hauraki.
The Hauraki Big Show with Jason Hoyte, Mike Minogue and Keyzie.
It's the Hauraki Big Show. You're here with Pugs, filling in for the fellas back Jan 13th. And in the meantime, we've got you sus for summer. Whether you're more of a land animal or maybe a sea creature. With Surf and Turf with our mates at Super Liquor, you could score some brand new golf clubs or a brand new surfboard to shred it up. Just text the word surf or turf to 3483 and you're in the draw for that prize. Cheers to summer. Cheers to our mates at Super Liquor. More best bits from the fellas after 6, including an underrated segment and part 2 of the epic Brisbane Magic Round adventure. You're listening to Radio Hauraki.
The Hauraki Big Show with Jace, Mike and Keyzie. Tune in weekdays at 4 on Radio Hauraki.
Welcome back, you absolute sickos. You're here with producer Pugs filling in for Jace, Mike and Keyzie. They've left on holiday, and for some reason their last day of the year was a Thursday. Don't ask me why. In the meantime, it's the Big Show brought to you by Tui. Stuck for a gift for the office Secret Santa? Tui merch is the answer, and we have Tui prize packs to give away as well. If you text in on 3483, every text goes in the draw. We just can't hand out any women's extra small shirts because Hoyte J rated the prize cupboard. Here to spin you some of the fellas' best or most underrated moments from 2024, and the next one is coming up in about 9 minutes. First, here's a real Mogi special for you. Rage Against the Machine, Take the Power Back. You're listening to Radio Hauraki.
The Hauraki Big Show with Jason Hoyte, Mike Minogue and Keyzie.
That's the dudes on the Hauraki Big Show. It's Pugs here filling in for the fellas. They'll be back Jan 13th. In the meantime, I'm spinning you some of my favourite moments of theirs from the year. And this falls into the more underrated category. I feel like it flew under the radar far too much because this segment that we tried out makes me want to skip summer entirely so I can get straight back into winter.
Onion.
Potatoes, croutons,
Garlic.
a little bit of cracked pepper in there, and
Stock. Herbs.
quince.
Winter soup chat with the fellas. And I believe, Moki, you're going to treat us to a recipe this evening.
Well, and I am, man, because I'm a big lover of soup. We've always been big lovers of soup in our family.
Sure.
That goes back years and years and years. My great-great-grandmother, Sue, you remember Sue, Keyzie?
So, yeah.
She invented soup. So that was invented on my mother's side, the soup. 4 or 5 generations back now.
Wow.
So, yeah, we've had this one in the family for a long time. And generally, look, I tell you what, my mum's going to be spewing that I'm giving up a family recipe like this. But it's bloody good. Today I'm going to be telling you all about a hearty chicken noodle soup.
Yum.
Chicken noodle soup. Now, that's good for whatever ails you, I'd say. Now, you start off, you got 900 mils. Let's round it up. 2 litres of...
Well, that's quite a big...
of chicken stock there, or you can use a vegetable stock or miso soup or tomato soup.
Well, hang on, for chicken noodle soup.
Chicken noodle soup. Then you get 1 boneless, skinless chicken breast in there. This is per person. Okay, so you're going to, depending on the amount of people, you'll change it.
What, an entire buzzy?
Teaspoon...
So, like, if there's 8, you'd be 8 breasts?
8 buzzies, yeah.
Could you use a thigh there?
You could use a thigh. You could use a thigh or a drumstick. I mean, people like different things, don't they?
Sure.
I find. But it can get a bit... I don't like bones in the soup part of it personally, so I always go with the breast, and I don't like a skin in a soup either. But you can go with the skin on there as well. I've got 1 teaspoon of chopped fresh ginger. You can use old dry ginger if you want, powdered ginger.
Yeah,
it doesn't
nice.
really matter. Garlic clove, finely chopped, or you can use powdered ginger. A lot of people don't like ginger, so you don't have to have...
Garlic? Yeah, right.
You don't have to have garlic in there if you don't want, or ginger for that matter.
That's very confusing.
50 gram of rice.
50 grams of rice.
Yeah, or wheat noodles. You know, noodles,
Or
Keyzie?
noodles. Hang on, so it's chicken noodle soup though. If you go for the rice,
Yeah, but sometimes you haven't got noodles in the drawer,
In
right?
the pantry. And could you go brown rice there, Moki?
100%.
Okay.
2 tablespoons of sweet corn. Now that's got to be fresh. That's got to be off the cob.
Oh, so
Corn.
you can't use a cream corn.
Well, you can. It's as I say, fresh off the cob.
Yes.
Or canned or frozen.
Oh, okay.
or
yeah,
candle,
yeah.
so basically any corn.
As long as it's sweet corn. 2 to 3 mushrooms. That's up to you. You can slice them thinly or just chuck them in whole. A couple of spring onions.
2 only. Okay.
Well, per person.
Oh.
So if there were 8 of you, there'd be 16 mushies in there.
Sorry, is this whole recipe per person?
Per person,
So
yes.
it's 2 litres of stock per person.
Per person. 2 teaspoons of soy sauce, mint or basil leaves.
Mint or basil. I mean, they're very different flavours.
Yeah, well, that's to serve, so it just has to be something green. So grass,
Yes.
spring onion.
Yes.
What else is green? Beans. You can chuck some beans on there.
Spinach.
Parsley.
Is good. Lettuce.
Yes.
Yep, parsley's good. So what you do is you pour the stock into a pan. Now, a lot of people don't like courgette, yes. But a lot of people don't like the chicken stock. So you pour that, you can put it into the pan or just tip it down the drain.
Sure.
Doesn't matter. You can just replace that with water because when you put it in with the chicken breast is going to flavour the water.
Yes.
And in fact, that's probably easiest. Just don't worry about that stock, that 2 litres of stock.
Well, hang on. Isn't that like the
Then
main
you
part
boil
of
it for 20 minutes. And I'd set a timer for that. I always forget.
A royal or a boil?
Oh, I'd go boil or
for
a
20.
royal boil.
Yeah.
Right, and that's chicken noodle soup.
And then we haven't put the chicken in yet. Put the chicken on a board and you've got to shred it into sort of bite-sized pieces unless it's got bones in it.
Right.
Like you were saying, Jace, with a thigh.
Yes.
Simmer it for 3 to 4 minutes until the noodles are tender or the rice is still really hard.
Oh, you want the rice hard.
Yeah, the rice has got to be hard.
But the noodles soft.
Hey?
But you want the noodles tender, but the rice hard.
Is this confusing for you, man? Like, I'll write it down. It's written down anyway. But,
Okay.
And then you just ladle it into 2 bowls. One for, because it's only per person, but one for now and one for later.
Oh, we'll pick out that recipe.
Jeez, I want to try that tonight.
Yeah, it's
though.
A
delicious.
little bit of spring onion, a little bit of mint, a little bit of basil, a little bit of chili.
Crack pepper.
The Hauraki Big Show podcast.
Yummy boys! The most yummy tune to come out of this country. That is Shapeshifter Dutchies on the Hauraki Big Show. Pugs here filling in for the fellas. They'll be back Jan 13th. Now, usually this time of day we do What's on the Telly with Mike Minogue, and I'm well aware of the fact that nobody asked me what I care about watching, but I thought I'd do my top 5 things that I've watched this year.
What's on the telly with Mike Minogue?
Yeah, I'm not even going to do that. Let's just crack straight into it. These are movies that I've thoroughly enjoyed. Now, let me be clear. They are not necessarily movies that came out in 2024. They're just things that I watched in 2024 that I enjoyed the most out of everything. I'll crack straight in. Banshees of Inisherin came out in 2022. It's got Brendan Gleeson. It's got Colin Farrell. It is a dark comedy, and it is so endearing, but also hilarious. Next one, The Naked Gun from 1988, the original Naked Gun. Jason Hoyte put me onto this as a big inspiration for his sicko sense of humour, and I haven't gone back. Literally one of my favourite movies of all time. Another one, Past Lives from 2023. At the other end of the emotional spectrum, this will rip your guts out. Next one, Dead Poets Society with Robin Williams. I talked about this recently on What's on the TV with Mike Minogue. That's from 89 with Robin Williams. I already said that. It is an absolute banger. Another one to rip your heart out of your chest and hold it in front of your eyeballs. And my favourite movie experience, my favourite cinematic experience of 2024 was Dune Part 2. Dune Part 1 I found a little underwhelming. Still great to look at. This blew my buzzies clean off. It made me feel like movies were back. Another best bit coming up very shortly is Presidents of the USA on Hauraki.
The Hauraki Big Show with Jason Hoyte, Mike Minogue, and Keyzie.
Little Hoity J special for you. That's Green Day on the Hauraki Big Show, brought to you by Tui. The Batch, the Barbie, the box of Tui. Summer sorted. Let's crack into the final best bit of the show of the year. This is the Brisbane Magic Round trip broken down Part 2.
So I went my separate ways after the game. First and foremost, can I just say, what an amazing stadium. So
Yes.
good. When we went that first night, I was like, geez, I don't see that pitch lasting for 8 bloody games. She looked pretty tuned up. But they did an amazing job of holding it all together somehow.
Question, Jace, are you talking about Magic Round that we were just at over the weekend?
Yes, the Magic Round.
Oh, yeah,
obviously, Keyzie.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I'm seeing what you're doing. You're doing Radio 101 there, re-establishing
Just setting
what
the scene,
what
yeah.
the scene is.
Yeah.
And then the Warriors. Look, I'm not a big leaguey, I admit it, but I just felt right from the get-go in that match that they wanted it more. They were fizzing.
Right from the moment we kicked out in the full and gave away the penalty and cost a try
You could not
in a
have
minute.
had a worse start. But
And I was
they
like,
were
I remember, because that happened.
fizzing.
That happened, and I was just like, oh, it's going to be one of those games.
Yeah,
oh.
yeah.
But then it
Yeah.
wasn't.
But there was something about their energy that was different from the Panthers, and you could tell that they were pretty goddamn hungry. And also, when you factor in, we lost a couple of key players really early doors, and it was like, oh my God,
Wade
this
Egan.
is going to be an absolute disaster. But courageous win. I thought I could see the writing on the wall mid half when old Mogi was like, and was like, the boys are playing so well, which we were.
Yeah.
And you were like, we're not going, mate. I'm telling you right now, if we win this, we're not going. In fact, we're not going anyway. And I went, okay, all right. And old Keyzie, God almighty, he was doing something to deliberately piss me off the entire match, which was screaming and what was it, and breaking it up.
I kept intentionally having my voice break because I noticed it was making people laugh. So be like, "You're my boy, Dylan!" Like that, right into old Hoity J's ears there.
For 80 minutes.
Yeah.
for 80 minutes. So then there was a final whistle, and I said to Pugs, I'm out of here, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm dusted. I'm gone.
Well, it was a massive contrast because with about 3 minutes to go in the match, Mogi came back with another 4-pack of lemonades, and Hoyte J, you leaving the stadium as we were continuing on was like the president being ushered out of like a very busy event or something.
Yes. I'll leave it to the people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
I'll leave
right.
it to the people. I'll get out of here.
Yeah.
So I got my bag, went to the airport, and was like, God. And then I realised, of course, I couldn't go to the lounge because none of you bastards were there. So I had to, I had to mingle amongst the filth.
Yeah, well,
you know
Jason,
what I'm
you are
saying?
the filth, mate.
Which was, she was all good. But then the good news was the Warriors turned up and they were on the same flight.
Right.
So I had a bit of a chit-chat to them and they were stoked, but you could tell they were rooted.
Yeah.
Tired.
Well, the brand of footy they played looked exhausting. It was just giving 110 the whole game.
And then it's like, late at night, we're like, everyone just wants to get home. We're sitting on the tarmac there, and over the intercom, with Messieurs, Minogue, Key, and Pugsley, if you're on board, please come up to the thing. Nothing happened. That also happened at the desk before I boarded, and I was like,
You didn't.
I did wonder about that because I had checked in.
I checked in.
Slightly less than 24 hours before.
So our heroes, the Warriors, absolutely rooted and exhausted, had to wait an extra half hour on the tarmac because of Messieurs, Minogue, Pugsley and Key not turning up. And I just didn't have the heart to tell them, sorry, fellas, look, the boys are pushing the boat out,
Well, it's their
celebrating
fault.
your magnificent victory.
It was their own fault, Jace, you know what I mean?
And
Very easy for them to blame us.
And then I got to the airport, got home, and it was like 1:30 in the morning. I was like, getting an Uber. And they've changed all the setup there. And old Hoyte J just effing and jeffing in the morning because I could not find where the hell the Ubers stopped. To my defence, there were about 6 or 7 other people going, where the is the Uber pickup area? Even the Warriors coach, Andrew Webster, was standing on the sidewalk there, effing and jeffing a little bit, looking at his phone, looking around. Nightmare. But it was very nice to curl into bed with my beloved wife at about 2:15 in the morning.
Serious question. Because at the first half of the game, it was Mogi, then you, and then me sitting in a row. Were we really that bad to watch league with? Because I thought we were great to watch it with.
You were shockingly bad.
The Hauraki Big Show podcast.
Well, there you go, you mad bastards. That's the big show done and dusted. It's been producer Pugs filling in for the fellas. They will be back January 13th, 2025. Mark your bloody calendar. And in the meantime, make sure you subscribe, follow, however it works, to the Hauraki Big Show podcast, wherever you get your podcasts from. I'll be uploading new best of podcasts every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday while the guys are away. Also, keep an eye on the Instagram at Hauraki Big Show, because in between those podcasts, you might see a little video pop up here and there. In the meantime, have a wonderful holiday, Christmas, summer. Look after yourself, look after your mates. Responsibly irresponsible. That's the motto for 2024-2025 summer. We will see you January 13th. Have a wonderful break. See you later.